So, a bill is being introduced that will allow the sale of raw milk across state lines.
Yes. So currently, well, first off,
Mhm.
um, it looks like I guess you could call them big milk.
Big milk.
People always put big in front of something when they're trying to make it nefarious, but like,
Yeah.
there's these huge corporations that basically mass produce most of the milk we drink in the United States,
hmm
and
But it is true that a lot of those same companies are responsible for pushing the whole like got milk thing and
oh
all
yeah,
that
yeah,
stuff
that's
when really
these are
doctors are telling people you don't have to drink that much milk.
Yeah, they form these huge
Yeah,
groups, and they
yeah,
form these big groups, and they do lobbying and stuff,
yeah,
and they do
exactly.
big promotions and stuff for their
Big
products.
milk.
And on its face, there's really not a lot wrong with that, but when it comes to things like this, what they've done to the
Yeah,
raw milk
yeah,
industry,
yeah,
it's actually not good.
yeah.
So what this bill is it's called the Interstate Traffic of Raw Milk Act, Interstate Milk Freedom Act.
Mm.
So currently, right now, it is legal to drink raw milk in all 50 states,
hmm
but it's only legal to sell raw milk in 28 states.
It's so
And
weird to me
yeah,
that you can drink raw milk legally, but you can't.
sell raw milk.
Like, how are the people who are drinking it getting it? I mean,
Well,
obviously, it's farmers, probably for
they're
the
trying
most
to
part.
well they're trying to block. They're
Yeah.
trying to what it is that I'm guessing what it says is that the reason that, well, first off, this is not a federal law that makes this happen this way. This is actually stemming from a lawsuit against the FDA, and they capitulated in the lawsuit, and that's how we got this regulation. The regulation is based on
hmm
no law whatsoever. The
hmm
FDA just said, you know what? All right, cool. Well, we don't want to get sued anymore, so there you go.
Hmm.
Now you can't sell raw milk. And so
Interesting.
with Thomas Massey and Democrat Pingree. I don't know how
hmm
to say his name.
It's
Looks like
interesting. Republican and Democrat coming
yeah.
together. So,
And so this bill's come up multiple times.
hmm
So it's bipartisan.
hmm
There's a lot
hmm
of bipartisan support in this, and basically what it says is that the FDA, basically entities that are in the executive branch, aren't allowed to make regulations that aren't based on laws, and they can't block farmers from selling to customers who want their products in other states
gotcha.
if it is legal to drink. Doesn't make sense. So anyway, what it says is that raw milk is a niche product highly valued by educated consumers who understand any risk associated with its consumption. The Interstate Milk and Freedom Act simply says that if two states have legalized the sale of unpasteurized milk, then no federal department, agency, or court may take any action to prohibit or restrict the interstate traffic of milk between those two states. This bill would prohibit the federal government from interfering with the interstate traffic of raw milk products between states where distribution or sale of such products is already legal. So this has come up a bunch of different times, and it hasn't passed. And I think a lot of the reason why it hasn't passed is that you have big agricultural
Yeah.
companies that are blocking it,
Yeah.
and it just makes you think that when are the people going to come first in these situations?
Yeah.
Because in a lot of ways, I think it'd be better for a kid to drink raw milk than it would be for a kid to drink,
Yeah.
the pasteurized milk with all the different things in it. This is clean, pure milk.
hmm
And there are some risks associated. That's why you got to make sure if you're buying it, you buy it from
That you're an
the kind
educated.
of, yeah,
Yeah,
you're
you're
an
an educated
educated,
consumer. Yeah.
like our kids, they drunk goat's milk
hmm
from the time they were coming from drinking off of their mother all the way until all the way.
After breastfeeding.
Yes, I didn't know how to say that, but all the way until they were what how were they when they got off their
Oh
goat's milk?
man, probably like 4 or 5 years old.
Yeah,
And it's
and
crazy because I mean, I still ever so often like buy it, but hasn't been in a while because it is expensive. And but see, that's what gets me about that a lot of people don't realize about um, the food industry in America is that if you don't think that government's not involved in your food, then you are completely kidding yourself. Don't even get us started, okay? Because we could talk about this kind of stuff for hours of all of the places in our food that government has its hand. So but that's why you end up with brands Okay, like the goat's milk that we gave our kids. That's how you end up with brands like this that are it's good, it's pretty clean for children to drink, but it's so expensive to produce because you've got government all in the middle, between the consumer
Yeah.
and the actual person producing the milk. And so it doesn't have to be that way. I have so many people that have asked us, well, I can't eat organic food because it's so expensive. And they think it's because that farmers are like sitting around being frou frou, No, a farmer's not trying to sell you this food for this amount of money. A farmer doesn't have to sell you the food for that amount of money. But because of all of government regulations and all the different things going on, they they have to sell it at those price points just to get a return.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people don't realize that. And so this would be probably, I think this would be like a really cool topic for us to add ever so often is how government is involved in food. Um, we used to really, we used to really kind of research like Monsanto and all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. Like for
Yeah.
years we did, and we just never really we haven't talked about it in a really long time. But government is highly involved in
Yeah.
the food that
And
we eat and
a
drinks that
lot
we
of it
consume.
has nothing based on science or anything
No,
else. I mean, it's not like raw milk. If the raw milk was this huge danger,
yeah,
a lot of the farmers, if you live in rural areas, you would
yeah,
know a lot of rural families,
yeah,
they swear by goat's milk, they swear by
yeah,
raw milk coming straight from their
yeah.
cows. It's just a normal thing, and this should be more widespread
Oh
because I
yeah.
think it'd be a lot better for children to get raw milk as opposed to drinking this highly
Oh
processed
yeah.
stuff that not saying anything wrong with it, but
But it still should
it's
be
better to
left,
get
I think
something
the
pure.
decision should be left to, it's no different, okay, it's no different than vaccines, okay? It's no different than some of the other choices that people are asking for. What I'm saying is that I do believe, though, that it comes down to the consumer,
Yeah.
where the consumer should be allowed to say, "Hey, I'd like to, give my children this milk," or, "My family wants to drink, this milk." So, I still think that it should come down to that decision. I mean, how many videos have we seen of literally government coming in with their gloves on and
Yeah.
pouring out gallons upon
Yeah.
gallons
It's pretty
of
horrible.
raw milk just in open fields to
Yeah.
save us, to save
Yeah, they're
America.
saving. We're so saved right now.
Kind
Look
of
at
like all
you.
that barbecue that they saved everybody from that one
Oh
time. Remember
yeah.
that
Well, we did a
story?
story that what was the story? It was like
That's
government.
like 3
Oh, a
years
government
ago.
agency
Oh
in
my
I think it was
god.
Kansas decided that the meat they were trying to give to some homeless people was barbecue.
It wasn't like
It
the
wasn't to their
right
standard.
health grade or
So
something.
it was like hundreds of
I
pounds of
don't
meat. They
know.
just threw it away.
Hundreds of
So the
pounds
government would rather you starve than eat something they don't want you to
they
eat. And that's
disapprove
the thing
of.
that I
That's
that's the
big
thing we used to
government.
talk about all the
Yeah, we
time.
would bring up stories like
We
that.
talked
We
about
gotta
that
bring some
all
of
the
those
time.
back.
And these are government agencies that are,
Yeah.
these are bureaucrats who aren't elected. These are people who aren't elected. They're
Yeah.
just in there
They're
just
just
slinging their
in
weight
they're
around.
just in there going from agency to agency, switching places and terrorizing people by throwing out
Yeah.
milk and
So
meat.
hopefully, and I don't know
Oh
how much
my
hope I should have in a bill
gosh.
like this getting passed, but
I mean, if
hopefully a
it's
bill like this can go somewhere. I mean, it has a
yeah.
lot of co-sponsors.
I think this would be kind of one of those bills where I do believe that, states kind of like ours who are heavy into agriculture, I believe it's those types of states that need to get involved in something like this. I believe that if you got enough push, enough steam behind something like this in those, in more of the blue collar states, agriculture is heavy. I think that you could get something like this passed in a matter of a few years. But still, government's always going to be the one that's in the way. If you are living in this area, if you are living in a state that you believe you know should advance something like this, let us know in the comments. Let us know what you guys think about
Yeah,
this
because
particular bill.
there's still a lot of states where it's not legal to sell raw milk.
Yeah. And
So
if you're one of those states, let us know
yeah,
because we want to know kind of like what's going on, in your state government. Are they looking to, put anything forth this coming, the coming sessions, all that
because
good
this is
stuff.
definitely going to open it up to where
Yeah.
these states will be able to enact laws and things to where
Oh yeah.
you can actually get some good commerce going back and forth between the states and it drive down the cost,
Yeah.
give some competition to the goat's milk.
It
The goat's
would.
milk was so expensive,
Yeah.
it drive the price down of that niche,
Mhm.
pure
Mhm.
milk product.
Mhm. Mhm.
Anyway,
Yeah. So, thanks again, you guys, for joining us today, and we'll see you next time.